Hello, once again, you are welcome to New Focused Approach to Mathematics Basics 7 Revised Edition. In this video, we want to look at how to describe bearings of a point from another point. In fact, we are introducing the concept of bearings. So when we talk of bearing, what is it? Let me ask you a question. How do aircraft and ships navigate without landmarks? You are in the sea, navigating, going up and down on the sea. There are no landmarks. For example, let's say this particular ship is on the sea. How would they know where they've got into? Because there are no landmarks on the sea, but they're able to navigate around. How would they do that? Or this aircraft in the sky, how would the pilot realize that where I've gotten to is Ghana or US or Canada? All they do is the use of maps, and in the map they learn about bearings, how they can navigate and get the directions to wherever they are going. Now we have two kinds of bearing we are going to study in school. The first one is called compass bearing, and the second one is called three-figure bearing or true bearing. Now we are going to focus more on the three-figure bearings. That's what we're going to do mostly in this year. All right, so but then let me give you a brief understanding of the two types of bearings you have mentioned right now. We have what you call the compass bearings. Like I said, they are based on the four cardinal points: the north, south, east, and west. So we can see the cardinal points here: north, south, east, and west. Now this type of bearing is measured from the North Pole or from the South Pole, meaning you can start from the North Pole towards the east, or you can start from the North Pole towards the west. Again, you can also start from the south to west or south to east. Any of this is accepted in the compass bearing. Now when you come to three-figure bearing, which we are going to work on, here the angles are measured in degrees. Then they are taken from the North Pole. So it means here your angle is taken from the North Pole alone. And you must always go clockwise. You must always go clockwise. In this bearing, you can't go anti-clockwise, and you can't start from any other point apart from the North Pole. And in this bearing, angles are measured, or they are taken in 3 digits. So if your angle is 2 degrees, you're going to write it 002. And if your angle is 35 degrees, you are going to have it as 035. Okay, then again, in three-figure bearing, like we said, we take the North Pole and we go clockwise direction alone. Right, now let's take example. Let's have this particular diagram, and we want to find the angle between these two lines. That is first thing. Then we find the bearing. Okay, so we will measure with our protractor. So let's measure with our protractor, and I'm sure you know how to measure with protractor. So here we have from the 0 here, it moves this direction, and we have 70 degrees. And so here our answer for the angle is 70 degrees, but then our bearing will be 70 degrees. You get it? So that is the bearing. So the bearing of this, or let's say if I put P here, I will see the bearing of P from N becomes that. Then this one too, that's the P part, we want to measure the angle, and here the angle we have here is 30 degrees, and so we write 30 degrees here, but then the bearing becomes 030 as well. Okay, now let's take another angle here. Okay, so we want to know the angle for this one, and again we can measure, and when we measure, we can have our angle up to this point, that is taken from this direction up to that point, and that point we are going to have it as 115, right? Approximately 115. So 115, it means this is going to be 115, but then our bearing also remain 115 because it must be in 3 digits. Then finally, let's do it for this one. Now take note that this one, the angle is reflex, and we can't use protractor to measure reflex angle. I mean the one that we have. Okay, we have, even though we can have a circle protractor that is circular, which can be used to measure reflex, but for the one that you have in your mathematical set cannot be used. So what we do is that we rather measure the obtuse angle here, then we subtract the value from 360. So let's measure that. Starting from the origin here, we move, and the value here comes as that will be 135 as well. So that is 30 here, right? Oops, sorry. Yeah, 30 here, then 5. So 135. Now with the 135, when we take it from 360, we'll get the value. The value of 225. So our angle here will be 225, and our bearing also will still be 225. Sorry, 225. So that becomes the bearing. Now in our next video, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how we can read bearings. With this, we come to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching.